Right, buddy, welcome back to the channel. Now, in this video, we'll be going through every Premier League club and one player to watch from that club. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments, and please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more daily football content. We've got tier lists. Most of the videos have been tier lists, but we've got more content coming soon. Some more combined 11, some more interesting things we can go through as we build up to the Premier League season. But yeah, please drop a like. The support's been great so far. Continue to watch to the end of the video, and as I said, let me know if you agree or disagree, and for your club, which player would you want to watch out for. So, starting off from Bournemouth, we're going to go alphabetically. So in at Bournemouth, I've gone with a new signing, Antonio Silva. I think he's a very, very good player. Very good business by Bournemouth. I think he's a very good centre-back, and I'd be excited to see how he does in the Premier League. He's played for Benfica for a couple of years. I think he's like 23 years of age. Very good, solid centre-back. Bournemouth recruitment's always so well. You look at the players they've had over recent years: Semenyo, Senesi, Alex Scott, Krippy Jr., Ryan. Very, very good list of players there. Kirkes, Howson, Zabani, the list goes on. Very, very smart recruitment. There's a reason why Bournemouth are signing him, and I think he's going to be a really key centre-back for them, replacing Marcos Senesi. I think he's definitely going to be one to watch out from them. In at Arsenal, now there's a few. I could have gone Wanyeri, could have gone Declan Rice, could have gone Solis, who's a new signing, but I've actually gone for Max Dalman. Now, Max Dalman lit up the league for Arsenal last season. A very, very good player. Still only 16 years of age and is a Premier League winner. Really, really good player. Really like his performances. I think he's got quality, talent. He's an explosive player and can make moments of magic. And I think he's a really, really creative player and a very important player for Arsenal. He had some big moments for them last season. I remember the goal he scored against Everton. There was a couple of games as well where he scored and created big moments. I think he's going to be a really good player for them. And as I said, at 16 years of age, to put in the performances that he's doing is really quite impressive. I think he's going to be a really exciting player for them. And a big season pending. Yes, you have Saka. Yes, you have Madueke, but Dalman's definitely going to be in that squad somewhere. And I think he's going to have a part to play. Arsenal play a lot of games. Saka's, in and out of the team to injuries. And Madueke also as well. Again, I think Dalman's going to be their player that's going to break through. Aston Villa now, again, there's a lot for them. You could have went for McGinn. You could have went for Kamara midfield. You could have went for... Jesus Christ, the voice cracks are getting me. You could have went for a few, but I've actually gone with new signing Alejandro Garnacho now. He's the Morgan Rogers replacement. Listen, take the United sort of fan bias away from Garnacho. He's an alright player. I think, he's been on a up and down journey in the Premier League these last couple of years. I think he's a decent player, got qualities. I think there's a reason why, Emery signed him at Aston Villa. I think he definitely is a talent. I think he's going to have a part to play for them this season. And again, I think he's someone who can have a good season there, potentially get back into the Chelsea team or go permanently to Villa, whatever his career is. But he has to work hard. He has to show that he wants to be there. He has to put in those good quality performances, and not the ones that we were seeing at Chelsea and towards the end of his career at Manchester United. And then the talent's always been there. It's just all about the consistency and removing the big ego that he has. Brentford, I've gone Coyote. Coyote is a really good right back. Strong, long throws a joke, consistent, still young and up and coming. Again, I'm surprised not a lot of Premier League clubs have been interested in Coyote, because I think when you're looking at right backs in the league, you're looking at consistency, you're looking at quality. You have Michael Coyote, and yes, he's still inexperienced and he's still only new to the league. But maybe after this season, I won't be surprised if you see a City, United, and Arsenal, those sorts of players being linked for that sort of player, because I think he is impressive, and every time I watch him for Brentford, he impresses. He's got a great engine, a very, very good right back, and a great bit of business there by Brentford. Again, they're another team that has very, very good recruitment. So, yeah, very, very happy with Coyote. I think he's a top right back, arguably one of the best in the Premier League. For Brighton, now, they've obviously lost Danny Welbeck, so I've gone with Evan Ferguson, still only 21. I remember a couple of seasons ago he was linked to clubs, and the fee that was being talked about was like £100 million. Now he's obviously not worth that. He's had a few loans. I think he went to Roma, West Ham as well. I think now Brighton are going to need someone who can fill the void of Danny Welbeck, and there's no better player for me in that Brighton squad than Evan Ferguson. He's young. He definitely does have potential. We've seen it in the Premier League before. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him, but I definitely think he can do that, and I'm excited to see whether, if he stays at Brighton, how he does, or if not, potentially someone else that comes into that number 9 position. But Brighton are going to need a solid number 9. They need someone that can get them goals. And yes, Welbeck didn't start every single game, but he still scored a lot of goals for Brighton, 13 last season. So whether that's Rutter, whether that's Evan Ferguson, I'm excited to see how he gets on in that Brighton team. For Chelsea, I've gone at Morgan Rogers. I think that's a really, really exciting move. Yes, it's a ridiculous price, but again, as I always say, the prices are always going to be inflated. I think Morgan Rogers is a really good player, very good, carrying the ball. I think he'll have a good relationship with Palmer. I think he'd work well in that inside 10 position, but drifting inside, can score goals. And again, it's a big money move, but I'm sure he will probably do well there. I think he is, a top quality player, and arguably one of the best players in the Premier League last season. I think he really is good and can make things happen. Now for Coventry, I've gone Haji Wright, striker for them. Not going to say I've watched a lot of Coventry, but he's the one that I've picked out, and I'm just going to state that my knowledge on the promoted teams is not that great, but we'll watch him as the season goes on. Crystal Palace, I've gone Yeremy Pino. Now he still only is 23 years of age. Was involved with Spain at the World Cup, didn't get many games. I think you're looking at the new system for Palace. You can get the best out of him. He's a very creative player, can score a goal, make something happen in that inside 10 position. And I think, again, Palace, they've lost quite a few players over the years, especially just last season. Lacroix, Guehi, Eze, they lost the manager. Wharton probably is going to go, potentially Mateta. But I think someone like Yeremy Pino can definitely step up to the plate, and I think he's a quality player. Everton, again, there's a few you've got Injai if he doesn't leave. You've got Tieno Barry, you've got James Garner in midfield, you've got Branthwaite, but I've gone at Dewsbury Hall. I think with Dewsbury Hall, every time I watch him, he's just very neat and tidy on the ball. He keeps the ball ticking, he can score a goal, he can create a chance. He's Everton's number 10 and links a lot of things together. You're looking at a season now where I think he's 27 now. I think he can have a very big season for Everton, and whether that's challenging for Europe. They had a pretty good season last season. Yes, it phased out at some point, but I think Dewsbury Hall's a really good player. Quite underrated, in my opinion, the performances that he puts in for Everton. In at Fulham, again, I've gone Oscar Bob. They've lost a lot of goals and a lot of creativity in Harry Wilson. However, Oscar Bob is a real talent, and he's had some big injuries over the last couple of years at City, and he hasn't quite got going at Fulham yet. And then there really is a player in there. I think he's got a lot of talent. 1v1's very good, skillful. Can play off the left and play off the right. And I think his versatility will be key. He needs to chip in with a few goals to help replace the burden of Harry Wilson. Also, I think Jimenez has actually left. Hull City, I've got McBurney. Again, he's been in the Premier League or English football for a very long time. I remember him at Sheffield United. With Hull City, newly promoted team, they're going to need goals. And I think McBurney has provided that before. Let's see if he can do it this season. Ipswich, I've gone Leif Davis at left back. If I do remember correctly, I do remember when Ipswich were in the Premier League last time, and he was a very good right back. There were talks potentially, definitely I've seen some links to Man United. Again, I don't think that deal will materialise, but if he can impress in the Premier League, you never know, he could get a move to a club like that. I think he's a very good player, very strong defensively, and can get forward as well. Leeds, I've gone Harry Wilson. As I said, very good signing, I think, for them. I think he got 17 goal contributions last season in the Premier League for Fulham. Has experience, has quality. Leeds need goals. And I think he's definitely someone that can provide that creativity for them of what they've needed. Leeds, the aim is obviously going to be to survive, but see how high they can finish. They've got a lot of good teams. They've got a lot of good players. They're a decent team. And that will probably be the aim for them. And I think, Harry Wilson is a great addition, especially on a free agent. Liverpool, again, I've gone Florian Wirtz. Now, he didn't have the worst season last season. I don't think it was great. It wasn't 125 million season or whatever. He cost 117 million. But I think Wirtz is a very good player. And you're looking from a Liverpool perspective, they need him to have a good season. Isak, you can't really rely on him to play every single game. He's coming back from a big injury. Ekitike, big injury. You're looking at Wirtz as that sort of player that's going to make things happen, and whether that's off the left in the number 10 position, I think it's a big season required from him. I think you've got to give him one more season before serious conversations need to be had about Florian Wirtz. But I really do like him. I think he's a good talent. It's a shame he played for Liverpool, but I think for them it's all about the goals and replacing Mohamed Salah's goals. I'm not going to say Wirtz is going to get that, but he's definitely going to be a key player for them in the forward line. Man City, I've got new signing Elliot Anderson. I think this one's quite self-explanatory. Cost over 100 million. Bernardo Silva, Rodri replacement, whatever you want to call him at the time of recording. Rodri's still at the club. I don't know for how long he will be there. I think he's a really good player, Anderson. I think this is the perfect chance for him now to take his game to the highest level. He's going to be playing in big games, gaming a week in, week out. Playing for City, the pressure is going to be different. He's going to be playing the Champions League. I think he definitely is ready for the test, but let's see how he does do for Manchester City in that midfield, because whether that's next to Rodri, I think that's a really good double pivot, to be honest with you, if he does stay. United, I've gone for a midfielder. I think it's quite obvious who I've gone for. I've gone for Yuri Tielemans. I think that's a very, very good bit of business from a United perspective. A player that can win the ball, a player that can create a chance very easily. May not have the legs, but I think for £35 million it's great business, and I'm excited to see how he does in the United shirt. Comes with that experience, comes with that quality and leadership that United needed in midfield. And as I said, his passing's an absolute joke. Newcastle, I've gone to Johan Wissa now. Didn't have the greatest season for them last season, was in and out of the team due to injury. You can't deny the 20 goals that he scored for Brentford. I think he's only one of 4 players to do that with Mbeumo, Tony and Igor Thiago. So I think he's a decent player. I'm excited to see how he does for them. This is a real opportunity for him. Walter Marder's not in a consistent sort of running the team, and let's see what Wissa can do. Newcastle have lost a lot of players. It's going to be a big season for them to see how they can do with a new manager coming in, and obviously how Wissa does. For Forest, I've gone Gibbs White now. That's still assuming he will be at the club. I think he will be. I think if he was going to go, he would have probably left by now. I think Gibbs White, you can argue he was very unfortunate to not be in the World Cup squad with England. I think he was really impressive, especially towards the back end of the season. Back end of the season with Forest, and again creatively, creates chances, hard working player. Sunderland, I've gone with Brian Brobby. Now there's a few others. I could have went N'Golo on the wing, Adingra, but I think Brobby had a very good World Cup. I think he's a very good striker. I don't think he's probably quite ready, for that big Premier League move yet, to an Arsenal or to a United or a club like that. However, I do think he's a really top player. Someone that comes in with experience, can score goals, a nuisance to play against. And I really do think he's a top class player. And then lastly, for Spurs, again, they've made about flipping 10 new signings. I could have won for Dubravka. Could have went for Robertson, Senesi, Van Hecke, Sandro Tonali. But I've gone for Mateus Fernandes. I think he's going to be a really impressive player for them. I think he's a player that's got quality, got potential, really good midfielder. Yes, he cost a lot of money, but I think he's money worth investing in. And I think he's going to have a great career for Spurs. And I think it's a great bit of business. He's going to be at the club for a very long time. He's going to form a very good relationship with Tonali, in my opinion. I think he's just a really talented player. But listen, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree. As I said, there's always going to be people that probably think there's other players to watch. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know your opinions in the comment section below. And as I said at the start of the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And there'll be a lot more videos coming. As I said, as you get close to the Premier League, we'll be doing predictions, previews for games. We'll be doing post-match reactions. We'll be doing a lot of sort of content. We'll also have the tier list in the background, potentially a few more quizzes as well, which we can always go through and mention. But please don't forget, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? Who do you think your club, which player should your club, or should you watch out for at your club? And I'll catch you soon. But as I said, we're on 33 subscribers at the time of recording. Let's see if we can get to 50 or 100 at the end of the month. But please don't forget, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on all the tier lists and all the content that we've done, and especially on this video. But thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.